It's time to finish our adventuring party with a half-orc paladin. He's a bro, dude. That's right, we are back with the 5th member of our party, getting ready to wrap up our adventuring party. We've had a wizard who does eye magic, who's blind. We've had a rot druid, Kenku. We've had a... Who else did we have? We had a bard, dwarf, and a barbarian dragonborn. And now the party is going to be wrapped up with a paladin, and not just any paladin, a half-orc paladin. So we sat down to think about what makes a paladin a paladin. We came up with this list for our paladin. We wanted them to be very serious, but very seriously a dude bro, a chill dude who's stoic, but also a partier. Want them to have a masculine energy, half orc, maybe have some armor made of barrels because they worship the god of parties. That's right, they worship the gods of parties. And so, you know, they have maybe 2 mugs to cheers, and maybe they're awkward and not good at partying, even though they worship the god of parties. And with that, we went to the sketching phase. So yeah, I made 3 poses of sort of a shield boy and started working on some ideas. First of all, a sort of cask mace in hand, ready to swing. And I really liked the sort of idea of this one, but the functionality of the drawing was starting to get to me, as you might be able to tell. So I carried on, trying my best to figure out exactly what this pose could be or should be. I think I struggled with his hand a lot before I landed on the actual one that worked for me. That's okay though, we're just getting, you know, trying out things, moving stuff around. That's the whole point of these kind of projects, right? We want to be at the sketch phase here where we're practicing and trying again in order to get closer to what we need by the time we get to our actual inking. And so you can see me here trying to rough in various things for like an armor, a shield with like clinking beer cans on it, steins. And yeah, we move on to the next one. Again, we're just experimenting with the various ideas we have to see what we can come up with. And so we tried a big shield on this one and went in there with some fun dynamic eyes and a big mustache, because, you know, why not? Sometimes when I look back on these, I'm surprised by what I see in ways that I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Yeah, maybe a giant hat with a mustache and a rapier, yeah. Well, you know, that's art for you. You can see me here just continuing to work on this sketch just to figure out some of the shapes and ideas. Slowly but surely. By the way, my name's Patrick. I'm an artist. I like making art on the internet and having fun with it, as you can probably tell. And yeah, if you like having fun with art or just want to be, you know, encouraged as an artist or as someone who likes to watch fun things being drawn, this is a great place to hang out. There's tons of videos. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all that stuff because YouTube told me to tell you that. But yeah. Thanks for being here. We're on to our next drawing here. We're working with 2 steins as his main weapons and giving him some kind of like 80s glasses as his visor to his helmet. It's a perfect attempt. We've got 3 drawings here. We're going through and looking at things that we like, and we'll take these into our main sketch. And here you can see me starting on our main sketch. We're starting with those hyperwave 80s visor sort of things. I thought that was kind of fun and it made me happy, so it stayed in the picture. And we're just sort of detailing in ideas for this helmet, making it work as best we can, roughing in that nose as well, getting that jaw in there. For this character, we decided that yes, they would be a partier, but they wouldn't be great at it. That they lost their brother to a party, and so they swore vengeance on all partiers, or on the people who hurt his brother. And in sort of honoring his brother, he has become a partier to the party god. And so he has a bit of a beer belly here, and you know, he's wearing some fantastical barrel-made armor bits, which I think are very fun. And I really like the style that we end up with on this guy, because even though it's not perfect, no drawing really is. Something fun about this sort of beer baron-esque partier that kind of works for our party, I think, at least a little bit. And so yeah, we're just getting in a little bit more of the details on this armor. I find drawing armor to be a challenge. The shapes, the styles, the sizes, everything about it takes a lot to get it right. And as you can see here, we're abandoning what we just drew in favor, hopefully, of something that works a little bit better for us in the long term. We've changed our ink color here, going to the background layer just to rough it in a little easier. And we're just tightening up the sketch. And this is, one of the things you do when you're sketching, right? You try, you erase, you do more, and eventually you get somewhere that you're happy with. And we're definitely getting close to that here. Now we can go back to our sketching layer and actually detail it in now that we've got another rough idea of what we want. And oftentimes in these videos, it's very progressive, right? Everything moves forward at its own sort of clip, and you never really go backwards. And some of that is editing magic, right? Like I show as much as I think is interesting to see, but not everything. But sometimes it's important to see that, you can go back a step if you're not happy, right? I wasn't happy with my sketch, so I went back and I worked on it, and then I came back to this roughing in of the image of the final sketch once I was happy. And so you can see me here just trying to get the sort of basics of this character in. We decided to keep one mug and go with that rapier, very thin blade, and of course a beautiful cape. And roughly in here we have our final sketch. Let's take a look. And with that done, it's time for us to get into our inking. Inking. It's the part where things are really coming together. We follow the lines that we've given ourselves, that we've got these impressions of what we want, and now it's time for us to get going on the hardcore details. And I really like the details I have to work with here. I feel like for a suit of armor, with my skill set when it comes to armors, it's very much what I was hoping for. It definitely works out to something that I can be proud of. And sometimes in art, you don't have to be the best at everything you do. You just have to give it your best and be willing to accept the results as your best at the moment. So much of art is built into this level of self-criticism and sort of unhealthy comparisons to the other. And we have to acknowledge sometimes that our best may not be the best, but it is still our best, and we can be happy with that. And I definitely am happy with the end result of this drawing. As we get closer to the end, I also do a little render of all the characters together because I thought that would be very fun. I'll show you that once this character is done and once we've sort of wrapped up. But yeah, I feel like in the end, this adventuring party was a really fun project to work on and really gave me some interesting ideas and characters to play with, and helped me to continue to refine my abilities when it came to, drawing new characters and coming up with new ideas for stories and things. And these are all things that are really important to me right now as an artist, as I expand my tastes into drawing comic books and things. I want to grow the skills that help me to tell these stories and to design characters for these stories, even just little side characters and other things, right? There's just a lot of people that go into telling stories. And so practicing it here with the adventuring party has really been a lot of fun for me. I hope you've enjoyed this series. If you haven't seen them all, there are 4 other ones. And you can go all the way back to the very beginning and check those out. But with this one, we're just trying to get in these rough lines, and we will probably come through and thicken them up a little bit as well once we have the fullness of this armor together, and maybe after we get rid of the sketch layer. In truth, I really like so much of how this character comes together, particularly just the mix of shapes that really work well. That cape on the armor, on the barrels, and everything that goes into it really makes me quite happy. You can see now we're going around and we're thickening up the left side of the image. This goes with our core images for all of our characters, that there is a shadow to the left because of course they're going to be all facing the same way, engaging the same enemy. And if we want to put them together into one picture, we need to have some internal consistency. And I really like the stage where we start thinking about shadows and lines a little bit more. It's important to note here that sometimes you get the sense, because you've seen a lot of people work in ink, in traditional media, and you think to yourself, maybe I have to do the exact same way they do. So they work with a pen and they build up the lines as they're going. And you know what? That's a great way of doing it, but you don't always have to do it that way. You can sometimes work on other things, like thickening the lines at a later date. Getting colors in here, and I think we're doing our first pass. We will decide on our colors as we go. Color is a tricky thing, you know. Where's the right contrast? What's the right style and vibe for a character? It can be really hard to figure that out. And so you can see me here trying my best to, you know, get in some colors that I like as we kick things off here. I don't remember if all these colors last. What I do know is that our character gets some brighter colors for sure as things go forward. You can see here we've got this great gray with this yellow and red, really I think coming together nicely. I think we lightened up some of our things. We've got our darkness coming in our helmet just to make it a little bit more contrasting to the rest of the body. And I think we go for a bright skin tone, nice purpley pinky kind of thing, which really stands out nicely on the screen. Holds up pretty well. It's tricky getting this brown in here properly. You can see me here messing around with the color and shade of it because it's surrounded by both a very dark red and a very, you know, mid gray. And so trying to find the right kind of color for it can be tricky. I think we've got the basics of our colors in here. It's time for us to get some shadows and some light. We're using a multiply layer, and we're using blue, a very similar blue to all the other ones that we used for this project, so that they at least match consistently on the screen when they're all put together. And then of course we'll come back through with our highlights, and we'll have for ourselves a lovely Paladin. And that's our Paladin for today. We went for the name Sir Humphrey of the Distilled Spirit, spirit being a bad pun on the Paladin side of things. And I think he's pretty fun. He looks like he's ready for an adventure and a good time, and he's ready to join our party. Here's our party in essence, all 5 members together. And I did say I did a render of them as one full piece. Here they are fighting the ominous dragon, as you would expect in something of a Dungeons and Dragons like world. I had a lot of fun with this project. Like I said, there are 4 other videos in this series where you can see each of these characters being made, what went into my thought process, and all that other stuff. I'm a small creator here, and I'm just so glad that you decided to join me today. If you like this video, if you like this series and want to see similar projects in the future, let me know. I don't know how to algorithm well, and so if you have ideas or things that you'd like, I'd love to provide them for you in the content that I make. But honestly, I'm just trying to have fun. So if you enjoyed this, let me know. That's going to be it for today. Thank you so much. Until next time, keep being awesome. Bye.